Hello, and welcome to the Empowerography Podcast. This is a platform created for women's voices to be heard and a place to share their stories, journeys, and successes with the world for the purpose of helping other women who might be on similar journeys. We are empowering women one episode at a time. I'm your host, Brad Walsh, so kick back, grab one of your favorite beverages, and enjoy the stories. If you're looking for jewelry that makes an impact on your self-care routine and your style, Empowerography would love to offer you a discount code to one of our exclusive partners, Quartz and Canary Jewelry and Wellness Company. Please use code EMPOWER15 to receive 15% off upon checkout at www.quartzandcanary.com. Quartz and Canary is truly the place where spirituality meets style. Hello there, Brad Walsh here, your host of the Empowerography Podcast. Today, my guest is Stephanie McLarty. She is the founder and CEO of REfficient and the creator behind Wealth of Family. How are you doing today, Stephanie?
I'm doing amazing, Brad. Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing good. How's your morning going so far?
It's been a busy morning, but I'm feeling good.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for taking the time to be here on the podcast and be part of my community or be part of this community and share a bit about your story and journey with us here today.
I am excited to be here too. I love what you're doing and I'm happy to be a part of it.
Awesome. Well, let's jump right in. You are a very busy lady who wears multiple hats. You're the founder and CEO of REfficient. You also just launched a company or business called Wealth of Family. And of course, lastly, but certainly not least, you're a mama. How do you balance all of this, Stephanie? Running two companies, being a mom, how do you do it?
I'm laughing to myself. Balance. Some days are better than others. I will admit that. Some weeks or months are better than others. But I'm really lucky in that I started REfficient 10 years ago. We just celebrated our 10-year anniversary.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. And so there's certainly a lot of momentum and, structure. I have staff that help me with that. Wealth of Family is newer, so it's allowing me to access like my creative side.
Mm-hmm.
And really, how do I balance it all is that I'm intentional with my time. So where I can, I try and have dedicated, focused time to everything. So I have times that I work on REfficient. I have times that I work on Wealth of Family. When my daughter gets home from her school, that's her time. I try not to look at my phone. My husband and I usually have time right after she goes to bed just to connect with one another. Mm-hmm. We try and sneak in a date night.
Awesome. It's important for sure.
Yeah, it is. And I think it comes down to doing a survey of your life and figuring out what is important to you and how you will dedicate time to everything. And also getting help where possible. So my husband helps a lot, especially these days now that he works from home. Mm-hmm. But even when my daughter's school wasn't running, like in the summer, our parents would help. So I think especially for moms where we take on a lot, we have to get and or ask for help and be specific in what we need. Yeah. But it all starts with us and figuring out what does that look like or what do I want that to look like?
See, yet another reason that shows how incredible women are. We have to do this as mothers. We have to do this as women. It's just incredible. Very structured, very regimented. I love it. But the fact that all of that responsibility is taken on by you. And yes, of course, you have help. I'm not saying that the husband doesn't help or that you don't get help wherever you need, but just the way you said that there is, we as mothers have to do this and we as women have to do that. I think it's incredible.
And I think it speaks to the things that are important to us.
Yeah.
I also caution that as much as we are usually great multitaskers and we try and do it all, we have to be gentle with ourselves too. So whether that means, just shifting your perspective on yourself. If you don't get everything done, it's okay. Like, don't take that on as stress. Mm-hmm. Allowing yourself to take time off and downtime. One of the things I did this morning was I went to the gym.
There you go. So you have to have me time for sure.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, you burn out. And then you're of no use to anybody.
This is so true. Yes. So, and it's important for moms because as you say, we tend to take on a lot.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So can you tell us a bit about REfficient and what the mission of your company is?
Yes. So REfficient is a telecom reuse and recycling marketplace. So basically, when the large service providers upgrade their networks and they pull out their old equipment, we help them to resell and recycle it and give them sustainability on the process. Our goal is to reuse as much as possible because usually it's the best thing financially, so you can make money back. Other people or companies can save money, but also because reuse normally is the best thing for the environment as well.
Right.
So I started this company because it drove me nuts thinking about the large companies, and they struggled to manage their equipment that they no longer needed. They were focused on their current networks, and yet there were other companies that wanted that exact same equipment. So my goal was to help companies to be efficient with resources, hence REfficient.
I love it. Very clever.
Yes. I came up with the name a few months before I started the company. I was sitting at a conference and I didn't really listen to what they were saying. I was listening for words, and I would like pick out words that they said and like put them together and like switch them around. I just played around with words that day. And one of the best things you can do is create a whole new name. It's easy to protect as a company. And so that's how I came up with REfficient.
I love it. Very environmentally conscious and clever name. And the mission behind it is just amazing. I think it's incredible work you're doing.
Thank you.
How many employees do you have?
We're a team of 5.
5,
so,
okay.
Yeah, we're a small company. We outsource as much as possible. So one of the lessons that I learned is we grew really quickly early on, and I, in some ways, almost lost control of the company.
Oh, wow.
And so we almost crashed and burned and died, but we didn't.
That's good.
And out of the other side, we were a much more like leaner and efficient company. And so one of the models we've used since then is we have a core group of staff, and then we leverage other people, other companies where possible for some of those things where we just don't need someone on the team full time for.
Right.
And it's really helped us well these days,
you're working
during the pandemic.
Like a very well-oiled machine now.
In some ways, yes. And in other ways, the world changes and you have to change with it, right? So we also can't just rely on like past successes. We have to constantly be looking to see what's out there. How are things changing? What do our customers need?
You got to keep up with the trends, right?
Yes. So interestingly, we've had one of our best years ever this year.
Awesome.
Despite the pandemic.
That's great.
Thank you. We've been very lucky, and part of it is because of the telecom industry. Our need for especially internet has not gone down, it's only increased. And so we are supporting companies. So our buyers are generally the small telecom companies across Canada and internationally. So we help them by getting product that they would otherwise not be able to afford, like the big service providers would with their big budgets. So we've been quite busy. And then also internationally, it's a similar thing. So
that's amazing. Good for you. So REfficient has been a certified B corporation since 2012. What does that mean, certified B corporation?
Great question. So the B in certified B Corp means benefit.
Okay.
So it's a certification, which means that we are for profit, but we're also for good. So we're for good of the community, the environment, and also our employees. And it's an international certification. It's somewhat like the fair trade certification is that businesses can get, but it's more broad and it can be applied to any for-profit business.
Mm-hmm.
And to get it, you need to fill out a 200 question questionnaire. I know it sounds like a lot, but it's doable.
Yeah.
You have to get a certain score. It looks at things like your business model, how you treat your employees, your governance. And if you get a certain score, then you can go on to become certified.
Mm-hmm.
And the last step is to update your articles of incorporation, so your DNA as a business, to not just take your shareholders' interests into account, but also the interests of your employees, the community, and the environment. So it's like a legally binding way to say that you're not just going to be about the bottom line. You're going to be about, the
you're
triple
doing it
bottom
for good.
line.
There's a better, higher purpose for the company.
Yes. And the interesting stats show that certified B Corps are much more likely to survive downturns.
Mm-hmm.
They are much more likely to retain employees. Like, there's all these metrics around being a good business that these types of companies just naturally align with. And so I think it's so cool. You're probably going to ask, like, why did we join that?
Yeah. How did that come about?
Well, it's because this is why I started the company. Like, if this was just a for-profit company, I would have given up a long time ago. In the early days when it's really hard and when you're trying to get the business off the ground and it's a roller coaster. For me, this business has always been about being a great business and diverting usable equipment from landfill. And so when I heard about the certification, it was like, yes, this is a formalization of our values. And what I love about this certified B Corp movement too, is that it's all about redefining what success is in business. So yes, it's successful to be profitable, financially stable, but also to be a good company for your employees and the environment and the community. And I don't want to run any other business but that.
That's
so
amazing.
For me, it was a very clear choice. Like, yes.
Amazing. I mean, you're doing good all around, like for the environment, for the community, for your company, for your employees. It's incredible. It's an incredible model.
It shows that it's possible to be win-win, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to start a company and choose between being profitable and doing something good. It's really
right. You
win-win.
Can do both. You can have both. You can have your cake and eat it too, so to speak.
Yeah, I think so.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
What is your 5-year plan for the business?
That is a great question. So as we talked about, things have shifted, 5 years ago, believe it or not, the number one seller for us was set-top boxes.
Okay.
If you remember what that is.
Yes, I do.
Right?
Really?
Those PVRs that sat at your TV. 5 years ago, that's the most common product that we sold.
Wow.
Today, 5 years later, we can hardly give them away. The demand for them is just so small.
Yeah.
But think about it, right?
Yes.
Like, back in the day when we used to have cable subscriptions and watch cable TV, that was a necessary part of our entertainment.
Yeah, absolutely.
And now with streaming and, cord cutting, it's just much more likely that we use the internet to stream things. So modems are the number one thing that we sell today.
Okay.
And so who knows what the future will really look like, but our goal is around being efficient with resources. So helping our customers to save money, to make money, and to be environmentally responsible. So it could look a little bit different 5 years from now, and we're staying open to that in terms of products, in terms of other services, which decrease the need for physical products. We're open to as well if it fits within that mission.
Okay.
One thing I'm super proud of, a journey that we're on, is to be carbon neutral within 3 years. So by 2023. And I'm really proud of that because we have been a part of the local sustainability movement for many years. We were a founding member of Sustainable Hamilton Burlington. So we've been tracking our carbon footprint, and we've already reduced it by more than 80%. So we're well on our way.
Amazing.
But what really occurred to me about 1 year ago, as Greta Thunberg and the whole movement around like, wake up, everybody, we need to reduce our carbon emissions and we need to do it fast.
Yeah.
And having my daughter and thinking about her future really made me realize that as much as I do a lot, there's more that we could do.
Right.
And I thought about our carbon footprint as a company, and like, yes, we could say by 2030 we'll be carbon neutral. But the reality is, if we just make a choice to do it sooner, we can do it. I'm confident of that. I don't exactly have all the answers, but I am confident that if we put that like goalpost in the ground, here's what we want to be in 3 years, we can do it.
Yeah.
So
sure.
That's the journey that we're on. The pandemic stalled some of our plans this year.
Yes.
But we're like reinvigorating them now and just looking at doing it a little bit differently. And so that's what we're on.
I love your mission. I love what you're doing with this company. I think it's incredible. Good for you. You should be very proud of what you've created and where you've taken it to.
Thank you. I am. Yeah.
Now, you also recently started another business called Wealth of Family. Can you tell us a bit about that business and when you started that?
So this has really been just in the last year that I've started Wealth of Family.
Okay.
And it came from the realization that so many of my friends really struggled with, when they had a family, they dreaded going back to their old job. They didn't like their old job to begin with. And then once they had a family, it was this extra layer of like, why am I making this commute? Like, what's the amount of time I'm going to have with my family and all of that? And I'd been on this entrepreneurial journey for many years. When I had my daughter, I did not have mat leave because I'm self-employed.
Right.
And frankly, I loved it. I did, because I could create the situation that worked for us.
Right.
And it took 3 months off in the beginning, as much as I could. And then from about month 3 to month 12, I would bring my daughter with me once a week into work. I had a postpartum doula that would come once or twice a week and allow me to do some work at home. And I felt like it was kind of the best of both worlds, where I still got to, work on my other baby, REfficient.
Yes.
Which it's not really a baby. It would be almost a tween?
Yeah, almost. Yeah. Yeah. It'd be about a tween. Yeah, I think so.
But at the same time, have the time that I wanted with my daughter and not lose that sense of self. Like, my business and everything I created was really important to me. And I actually think that I'm a better mom when I am engaged in my business. So I had this period where I really enjoyed it. And I saw all of my friends who struggled and who wanted to start their own business. So I started mentoring them and talking through, like, how do you start your business and how do you get your customers and all of that? And I realized that this is not just a problem that's limited to my group of friends. This is a challenge that so many moms face. And so I thought about doing something formal in this space for a long time. And then when the pandemic hit and I saw that, even if you had a job to go back to, like, it might not even exist anymore, or not in the form that it was, so that I should really do something about this. So that's when I launched my, the first cohort of my relaunch course. So for moms to launch a business that they love. Yeah. And it's a community and resources for moms to start a business. That is amazing. To find something that they love to do and that they're good at, And it's hard to start a business under the best of circumstances. And you know, when you start it with a young family, it's that much more challenging. Like, let's not reinvent the wheel here.
Yeah.
So it's been really cool.
I think it's amazing. I mean, you think about it too on the grander scale. I think it makes things in terms of all around, like very well rounded in terms of happiness and everything, because you're not going back to a job you hate and worried about leaving your child at home while you're back at a job you hate. You're working on something you love to do, and you're building this business, and you get the time with your family as well. So it's very well rounded, and I think it makes for a better business situation, for a better business environment, a better company environment, everything, for every piece of it involved. It's an incredible idea.
Thank you. Yes. And I think that moms are, you know, when they're happy, when they're going after something that they love, that they're a role model for their kids.
For sure.
On so many levels, right?
Yeah.
Like I mentioned, I felt like I was a better mom having the balance of my business in the mix.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing. The other really cool thing that I've noticed, and it wasn't an intention, but the whole point of the course is to find a business that you love and something that fits your values and something that will thrive, especially these days. And naturally, what's happened out of that is that these moms are creating businesses that are good for the environment. They're like community-based, like all the things that I would have wanted anyways have just like naturally arisen. Like these are great businesses that fit that whole model of what the Certified B Corp movement is all about. So that's been a really neat surprise out of this, and something I'm really proud of.
You should be very proud of both businesses you've created, the good you're doing for, again, with REfficient for the environment and everything else, and then this for helping this wealth of family for moms and giving them that opportunity to do something they want to do and are happy doing, but also they have the time with their family and their newborn and their children, or whatever the case may be. I think it's amazing. Brilliant ideas.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And that means a lot.
So what is it that excites you about being an entrepreneur?
What excites me about being an entrepreneur is that you literally get up in the morning and no 2 days are exactly alike. And you get to work on things that you really believe in and you really love. I find that, you know, a lot of us struggle with, you know, the monotony of like days.
Yeah.
You know, routine can be a great thing, and it can also be restricting as well.
Yes.
But when you're an entrepreneur, you have a blank canvas. And so you can paint it however you like, which I think is really exciting. I know for some people it's also very nerve-wracking, mm-hmm. but I think it's really exciting.
Well, I don't think entrepreneurship is for everybody. You have to be a certain type of person, I think. And some people prefer the structure of a 9 to 5. You go to work, you come home, you leave your job at work, and, you know, but mm-hmm. it's, I don't know. I love it. I love entrepreneurship and the freedom it provides you, the freedom it affords you. And I honestly think that entrepreneurship, having your own business, is like working 2 or 3 full-time jobs.
In what sense?
Just the amount of work, because you have to put in the work. If you don't put in the work, you're not going anywhere. Your business is not going to grow. So you have to work. And I mean, but again, look at that old adage or that old saying that when you do something you love, it doesn't feel like work. Mm-hmm. So there's that angle of it as well. But I just think you have to put in more work because it's yours, as opposed to a 9 to 5. You go put in your 8 hours, you come home, that's it.
Yeah. So I agree with you. You have to put in the work. It's your business. And especially in the beginning, you have to get it off the ground.
Yes.
The interesting thing that I've seen is that there's usually about 3 things in any given business that really moves the business forward. Like there's so many things you could do and you could think about and worry about, but when it comes down to it, there's usually about 3 things. Okay. And so it's one of the things I teach moms is that through the process, get clear on what those three things are, because you've got a lot to think about.
Yeah.
You've got your family,
Yeah.
your household, downtime, whatever it is that's important to you. And you have to get this business off the ground. But let's figure out what will actually move you forward. And I'm noticing that it often has things to do with, if we think about the sales funnel, where you've got, interested people at the top of the funnel, and then at the bottom, they actually become customers. The three things often have to do with, getting the word out about your business, like one or two marketing activities to get people at the top of the funnel. And then something that's usually ongoing and repeated to keep those people like warm leads, to keep them engaged. Yeah. Yes. And then something that, once they become customers, like they're
retain them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like that operational excellence.
Yeah.
Whatever it is that is. So sometimes that helps to just reduce the amount of, all those things that you could do into like some clarity around what will actually move you forward.
Yeah. What do you think your unique skill set or superpower is that's helped you become so successful?
That is a great question. I love that. So if I think back throughout my time as an entrepreneur, and I was just turning 30 when I started REfficient.
Okay.
I just had my 40th birthday on Friday.
Oh, happy belated.
Thank you. I've had lots of time. I've been thinking a lot and reflecting on my 30s and like, what did I learn? And it's actually really interesting and exciting. But anyway, so the consistent thing I think is that I'm a passionate person. So I'm passionate about sustainability, about reuse. And when I get in front of people and I communicate that passion, people get it.
Yeah.
And so I think that's maybe what my unique skill set is that has helped me to start REfficient and to get those early customers and get them, to be long-term customers. And also with Wealth of Family. But yeah. Awesome. I don't know if it's a superpower, but I think that's what has helped me to get.
Well, I think it's a superpower forward. For sure. What was a turning point in your life, and how did that affect you?
So I mentioned briefly about a turning point that I had, or an experience that I had several years ago when we were a few years old and we were growing really quickly. And I got distracted in the business at the time. We had investors potentially interested to invest in us. And because we'd had so much early success and, I have this passion and I like to get out there and talk to people about it. We had people that were like, we really believe in you. We think this could be big. And it's great. I personally started to get distracted by all of that and lose my pulse on the company and where the company was at. And I have been self-taught on everything. Like I do have an undergrad and a master's, but they're not related to business.
Right.
I've just learned on the go, for better and for worse.
Yeah.
And the company has been, and still to this day, fully like self-funded, cash flow grown.
Amazing.
So that's been really cool. So I got distracted. And at the same time, our bookkeeper, who I trusted fully, she got very sick very suddenly, and it was life-threatening. And so she obviously had to take time off, and she was gone for about 6 months. And during that time, I hired somebody else, and she didn't have the same skills as the previous bookkeeper. But the point was that I didn't fully understand our financial management. And we had been growing quickly, but what I didn't realize is that our costs had also been growing a lot too. And they were getting out of line with our growth. And so eventually when our original bookkeeper came back and she straightened out our books, she came to me one November. So this would have been in about 7 years ago. And she's like, here's where I think we're actually at as a company. Like it's because there'd been so many mistakes in the books. She's like, I don't have a like completely accurate picture, but I think this is reasonably accurate. And I looked at it and it was showing that we had $100,000 loss that I was not expecting. And we took a walk out in the warehouse after everybody had left, and we just cried and we sobbed. And I just at that moment did not know what we were going to do because it was like so big. And it was about a month later where we ran out of money. We ran out of cash because it finally had caught up with us.
Yeah.
And so that sparked this really difficult 7-month period for me. In hindsight, it was 7 months. And I took myself off payroll and I just like desperately tried to find the way forward for the company. And it was really hard for me for many reasons. One of the biggest things was like on the inside, I felt like I was destroyed and like, how could I let this happen? You know, all those sort of those negative thoughts. And I didn't know exactly how we were going to get out of it. I mean, we put in place a plan, but I didn't really know what the ending of the story was going to be.
Yeah.
And, but on the outside, I had to project like, you know, everything's fine. And I struggled with, is that authentic? Right? Like on the inside, I'm destroyed, but I'm like telling you everything is fine. And I think, so one of the things I tell to people now, one of the lessons I learned from that time is you need to have a few people that you can confide in and that you can be totally honest with and cry to and get those emotions out. And, you know, it was appropriate to have a level of, you know, stability in my communications, you know, outward facing at the time. And so we went through this really hard time. You know, personally, I had put all of my money into the company. I like wasn't taking any money out. So eventually I was running a balance on my credit card, which was the first time I'd ever done that in my life. I felt so ashamed. And we executed our plan. And I just stayed open to whatever was next. And you want to know something really interesting. Mm-hmm. So it happened in November when it felt like the world was falling apart. By May, we won a big new contract. And from one day, I was like, I don't know what's going to happen here.
Yeah.
To the next day, it was like, oh, everything's going to be fine. By July, 2 months later, we'd paid off all of our debts. And by December of that year, we had recorded our best year ever. That still, to this day, was our best year ever.
That's amazing.
And yeah, so that was a big turning point for me. And it benefited us as a company because after that, I think we became a lot more lean and resilient, and I became a much stronger and better leader and manager. But it also, for me personally, it was a big turning point because I learned that one of the biggest turning point in that process was I asked myself, what's the worst thing that can happen here? What's the worst thing that can happen? And I realized it was that I would shut down the business. If I needed to generate some cash to pay off debts, I would sell my condo. And I had gotten a pretty significant network from the first years of being in business. I would go out and get a job and then I would talk about it.
Yeah.
And so that I wouldn't have to hide it because I think it's important for especially other entrepreneurs to know.
Sure.
Once I actually understood that that's the worst thing that can happen and it wasn't really that bad at all, like I could manage that, then it was like a weight was lifted off my shoulders and things started shifting. It's
hard to do when you're in it though. You know what I mean? When you're right immersed in it, it's hard to do that. But I mean, again, the worst thing that can happen. So what? You pick yourself up. Failure is part of learning, and you learn from your mistakes, and you pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and start again. That's all. There's a lot worse things that could happen. So
absolutely. And I'm talking about the story more now because I feel like with the pandemic, from 1 month to the next, everything shifted for businesses, and for many businesses, they're struggling to survive. And it took me 7 years to finally come out and just talk about the story. It's fine. It is hard when you're going through it, and I want people to know they're not alone, but
for sure.
Here's also the reality. From one day to the next, everything shifted, and you just don't know what new doors might open for you.
Yeah, that's right.
And so I've also learned through that process, one of my favorite sort of concepts that I really got, if you'll indulge me on time, is that to fail at something and being a failure is not the same thing.
Yeah, so very true.
To fail at something, or when something doesn't work out, it's just an action. To fail is really just a verb, whereas being a failure is something that we take personally. It's really just an adjective, really.
Yeah.
And you don't have to apply that to yourself. You can fail at something and be brave, and fail at something and be vulnerable. And, so during that period, I really distinguished that for myself, and that regardless of what happens, I'm not a failure because I went for my dreams in the first place.
That's right. You had the courage to do it.
Yeah.
How do you define success? What does that word mean to you, Stephanie?
Success and the definition of success, I would say it's somewhat shifted over time. Now I see it as being in control of my time, of living the life that I choose. So it's not just a financial number for me. It's about being able to have the time with my daughter. It's being able to not have to work 40 hours a week if I don't want to.
Yeah.
It's being able to invest in things that I want to invest in. We bought a used Tesla.
Oh, nice.
This past year, and that was a dream. So it's those kinds of things. It's about success for me is about living life on my terms.
Okay. I like that. What makes you feel inspired or like your best self?
What makes me feel inspired? That's a great question. Or my best self. Well, I feel like when I get out there and I talk to people and I open up, when I'm vulnerable, I'm inspired when other people really share authentically. And so I think it goes both ways. I feel like when I also share about, what's going on, or that experience when we almost went bankrupt.
Yeah.
I feel like those are the kinds of things where you share and you don't know what the impact will be. I think you have to let go of what the outcome will be, but we don't necessarily know what people are going through. They may or may not tell you. And so when you do just share openly with no expectation in return, sometimes you can really impact people.
For sure.
Even when you don't intend to.
Yeah, it's big. It's an incredible feeling to have impact on another human being. I can't even put it into words. I love being able to do that and affect someone's life and have an impact from something I did for somebody or with somebody or whatever the case may be. It's an incredible feeling.
It's so true. And it can be big things and small things I've found. So just this morning, my daughter, who will be 3 in November, she said to me, "Thank you, Mama, for breakfast." I'm like, and that was totally unprompted. She was just sharing that. And I'm like, wow, that's my kid.
Yeah.
And clearly, I guess what I was present to is I'm really proud of the, person that she's becoming, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I know that it's a combination of myself and my husband and, all the forces around her, but it's just like...
It's a proud moment, though.
Yeah.
How would you like to be remembered?
How would I like to be remembered? Brad, that's a great question. So it's not something that I've really thought much about.
Mm-hmm.
I guess how I've tried to live my life is to follow my passions, to make a difference, to be there for friends and family.
Mm-hmm.
And so I hope I'm remembered for things like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
What makes you smile?
Well, talking about my daughter makes me smile. My favorite place in the world is our family cottage up on the French River. That just makes me smile. Sometimes it's just the little things.
Yeah. Well, it's the little things that have more impact and mean a lot,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How would you describe yourself in one word?
How I would describe myself in one word. Well, I would say passionate. I think that's something that people know me for.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing that I try to do, and I think people know me for, is being like sustainable. So walking the talk around, this is what we do as a company, but also I try to make great choices at home too. We've been shifting towards not a zero waste household. I would love to, but I found it's even harder during the pandemic. But just consuming a lot less single-use plastics, having just overall a lower footprint on the environment. That's important to me. And going back to inspiration and what inspires me, and I'm inspired by people who walk the talk. So I hope that I also do the same. And we've done some really cool things at our company, because the great thing is when you're an entrepreneur, you have creative license to do whatever you want. And so some of the cool little marketing things that we've done over the years is our business cards are 2/3 of the size of regular business cards.
Okay.
They're our number 2 marketing tool, and they're printed on recycled paper, but they don't cost anything more than a regular business card, even though the paper is premium, just because the cards are cut differently. Like, that's all it is. It's like a different, like the cutter just cuts them differently.
Yeah.
And so it's really cool because it's more environmentally friendly, but it also makes a statement. So 80% of the people that we hand the business cards to are like, oh, this is smaller. Oh, I get it. It's efficient with resources. It's REfficient, right?
That's awesome.
But our number 1 marketing tool has been seed paper postcards. So they are marketing postcards that are printed on seed paper. So basically embedded in the paper are seeds to grow wildflowers. You can get other ones that grow herbs.
Oh, wow. Very cool.
But they've been incredibly effective. We have a clever saying around like growing your savings and growing wildflowers. And they've been incredibly effective because they make a statement. There's zero waste because you can plant them afterwards. They say what we do. They're different. Yeah. And so I think
it's a conversation piece, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Given our customers in REfficient are generally men aged 40 to 55, usually in more rural regions, you wouldn't necessarily think that these seed paper postcards would work, but they did. So
awesome. What does the word empowerment mean to you?
The word empowerment means to me like enabling. So that basically we are capable of so much, and then it's just allowing yourself to get out of your own way and to do what you're capable of. And the same goes for other people, enabling them to do what they're capable of.
Okay.
And it can be something really big, entrepreneurship, we talk about wealth of family, like any of the moms in that community, in that course.
Yeah.
But to be honest, it can be really small too. Like, for example, our daughter, she can get dressed fully by herself. And so we need to like set her up such that she can do it on her own. So it means like she wears more jogging pants instead of leggings, because as a toddler, jogging pants are so much easier.
Yeah.
It means having the shoes with the Velcro that she can get on.
That's right.
I discovered last week, it's even having the right type of socks, like having short socks that are stretchy versus like the longer sort of tube socks. They're a lot harder for her. So it's setting up the environment for her so that she can use her skills in a way that, benefits her and benefits others. And I think that's the same kind of idea here with empowerment. It's allowing people to do what they're capable of, setting them up such that they can actually realize that potential.
Yeah. Succeed.
Yeah.
If you
Big
could
or small.
Sorry?
Big or small.
That's right. That's right. If you could set up a billboard anywhere, where would you put it and what would it say?
See, that's a fantastic question. I have never been asked before. I've never thought about it before. I guess if I were to set up a billboard, something I'm really passionate about is around our future, is around the climate crisis. And I'm not sure exactly what it would say. I just want people to wake up. Like,
there you go. That's what it would say.
It's like wake up. Yeah.
Awesome.
Wake up. Like,
but where would you put it? I
would put it somewhere where it would be seen by a lot of people. I don't know, maybe along like the busiest stretch of highway.
Yeah.
But I also recognize, wake up is one thing, but also people need to be guided in terms of actions and tools like that can help them along this journey as well. Like it's
I like wake up. It's just very simple and to the point, and it can mean a few different things, right? So I love it.
Okay, we'll stick with wake up.
Yeah, I love it. Are you an early bird or a night owl?
Hands down, early bird.
Money or fame?
Definitely money, because you can do a lot with money and make a difference when you have money. Invest in things, invest in organizations.
Yeah. It gives you a platform, so to speak, to create change.
Absolutely. And I mean, at some level you can with fame as well. But I think with fame, you have to rely on other people, spending the money or taking those actions, where at least with money, you can invest, you can direct it to where you think it should go.
Money, you can do it anonymously too. Fame, you can't.
Yes.
Right?
And I think with fame, sure, there might be a lot of benefits to it, but there are a lot of drawbacks.
Yeah, for sure.
A lot. And I'm not sure that's the life for me.
What do you feel most grateful for in your life?
I'm not sure if it's most grateful, but I definitely feel profoundly grateful that I was raised by parents who told me that I could do anything and who didn't place constraints upon me, early on in life around what I should or shouldn't do.
Yeah.
I was simply incredibly lucky to get the parents that I did. And I am so grateful for their presence and their guidance growing up and even now, for sure.
Who would you say have been the three most influential people in your life?
So on that note, I would say my parents.
Okay, they can count as one.
Okay, they can count as one?
Yeah, we can count them as one.
Okay, great. And I just want to say something really interesting about my parents, who has helped inform me, is that in many ways, my parents' roles are reversed. So my mom is the like black and white, nothing phases her. My dad is like, he's the one that's far more likely to cry. He's much more emotional and sensitive in that sense. And my dad was an entrepreneur, but my mom was like the management side of the business.
Okay.
And so in many ways, their roles were reversed in terms of the traditional stereotype.
Right.
And that has really helped me in terms of, it doesn't matter like what society says, what our gender roles might say we should do. It's like what you yourself are more aligned to, what your particular skills are. And going back to what I said before, you can do anything
For sure you can.
in your life. So that was, I think that really has informed me. And I have both my mom and my dad in me. And that has helped me as an entrepreneur. I would say the second would be my business advisor, Pete Smith, who really was my advisor from about year 2 to year 7 of my company. And he was influential for many reasons. He got me to see that my thinking was small and limited at times.
Mm-hmm.
He got me to see that I could do more than what I maybe thought I could.
Yeah.
But he was also very practical in terms of guiding me through steps of my business and helping me to just see things in a whole new perspective.
Mm-hmm.
He also was the one, he and his daughter, who introduced me to my husband, who I would say is the third most influential person in my life.
Okay.
So my husband is like a rock in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I dated for many years the absolute wrong guy. And when I met my husband, it was the first time, this is very personal, I know, but
that's okay.
It was the first time I dated a younger man. And I thought, I won't date younger men because how will they accept and really embrace me in terms of what I'm up to in my life?
Yeah.
And not feel threatened by it.
Right.
And it turns out he is the most self-aware and self-secure person I have probably ever met. And so he is a real champion of me and what I do in my life. And
that's important. Support systems are key.
That's right. And he's a great dad too.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
What are you most proud of?
So standard answer, of course, is my family.
Your child, your family. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I would say, setting aside the standard answer, I would say it's that REfficient now, we're 10 years old. Like not that many companies make it to 10 years.
Yeah, that's true.
We still divert over 150,000 items every year from landfill and into productive reuse. And I'm really proud of this journey that we're on to be carbon neutral, because I think we need to walk the talk and show what's possible.
For sure. Lastly, if you could go back and give your younger self one piece of advice, what would that piece of advice be?
That piece of advice would be enjoy the journey, enjoy the process. I was really worried when I was in university that I didn't know, quote unquote, what I wanted to do in my life. And I see now that my life has been not this single journey, like single road, but there's been twists and turns and, and crossroads, and it's been really fun and interesting. So try not to worry about it and just enjoy the journey and enjoy wherever it takes you.
Very wise words. I love it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Stephanie, for being here and sharing with us a bit about your journey and your road that you've been on. And I truly appreciate you agreeing to be part of the podcast to help grow this community that I'm creating. And it's been an absolute pleasure chatting with you. I've thoroughly enjoyed our chat, and you're doing amazing things. Just keep doing all this amazing stuff that you're doing, and you'll continue to achieve great success.
Thank you, Brad. And I echo all of that right back to you. I think what you're doing is amazing too. So keep up the great work.
Thank you so much. Once again, this is Brad Walsh, your host of the Empowerography podcast. Today, my guest has been Stephanie McLarty. She is the founder and CEO of REfficient, as well as the creator behind Wealth of Family. Thanks again, Stephanie. I hope you have an amazing rest of the day, and we'll talk soon.
Talk to you soon, Brad. Thank you.
Thank you very much for listening to this podcast. If you haven't yet, please be sure to subscribe, rate, review, and share with all your friends. You can find me at visuphoria.ca, and follow me on Instagram at Empowerography Podcast and on Facebook at Empowerography. Please join me next time for another inspirational story from yet another amazing woman.